Let's call this meeting to order, 7 p.m. And if we stand in for the pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Bigger,
Yes.
Boozer is absent. And Cheney,
Here.
sure.
Here.
And my mistake, Osling is not supposed to be on there again. Tyson,
He's up there.
is June on?
I don't see her yet.
Not yet, okay. And Walker. And for everybody, information, Jim has just joined us tonight, and thank you very much for volunteering.
Yeah, thanks. Glad to be here.
Any changes to the agenda? I know Don has one to add for the new business. Anybody else? That's regarding legislation. All right. So if you would take a quick look at the agenda and if you're in agreement, somebody I would appreciate, make a motion.
Also move.
And
I'll second.
yeah. Everyone present?
Aye.
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 And next up is I don't know, can you hear me, Jim, Sue?
Mike can hear you. This is Jim.
Okay, thank you.
I can hear you as well.
Thank you.
This is Sue.
I
Sorry.
wouldn't hear you.
That one came out robust. Thanks, Sue. And if you had a chance to look at the minutes from January 20th, any questions, comments, concerns? If none, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Next up is the February 9th special meeting. It was a work session joint with the chairpersons of the subcommittees. Any changes, comments? All good?
Yep.
Anyone like to make a motion to approve those minutes?
So move. Second.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Jim. Jack. All in agreement?
Aye. Aye.
Next up is the approval of the subcommittee report, and that is entitled actually Committee Activity Report in your documents. Any comments? Need for changes?
Nothing jumps out.
And again, could I get a motion to approve the minutes? Or the
Work session.
subcommittee?
Work session. Yeah. So move. This is a subcommittee. Subcommittee, yeah.
Subcommittee report, yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Next up would be public comment. Anyone who'd like to speak? You're welcome to speak for 3 minutes.
Can you folks all hear? Looks like June is on now.
Okay. Very good. And it is. Very good.
Sue.
All right, moving on. Subcommittee reports. Brad, would you like to share your thoughts and, okay?
Good evening. I'm representing or I'm chairing the Science Committee. And I don't have a lot of updates from my end of January report in that our subcommittees, the science subcommittees are busy at work breaking down the seven real issues that we're trying to address around the lake. We have a general science committee meeting tomorrow. So I'll get an update on that, and then that'll be in my next report. However, I do want to mention one other thing that's come up that I'm very, very excited about. Uh, we have well, as you know, you forwarded it to me, but we have a former local resident who has a doctorate in modeling waterways and water systems and ecosystems. And it's fits right up the alley with what we're trying to do in the science committee. The models do a couple things. They could help predict what math models do or science models do is they take all the data we have and try to figure out, what could happen in the future under these conditions. But it also modeling tells you where you have gaps. Like, okay, we don't have enough data on this to make, pretty good predictions. So one of the goals of the science committee is not just to get all the data that we have already done and collected and analyzed, but where are we lacking? What do we need to know? What information we're missing? And I think this could be really helpful. So I've spoken to Ryan. We've had a great conversation. On the agenda tomorrow of the science committee, I'm going to bring up Ryan's going to come on the call. He lives in Colorado right now, born and raised in Roscommon. Dad was a teacher at the high school, so he's he's a local
Last name?
McClure.
Oh.
And to have someone who's passionate about the lake is really, really exciting. So he's going to come on a call and just introduce himself tomorrow to the entire science committee. And then my recommendation is for the science committee to allow, and I would like your input on this, but it just hit me as I was talking with him that, okay, where do we go from here? I'd like to create a small subcommittee on the science committee to meet with him and come up with a proposal. What do we need to do to create some interesting and effective modeling at Higgins Lake? So that would include, a range of things, including, budget, what would it cost? What do we need to collect? What would we be analyzing and all of that? So I'd like to get a small group of our members to meet with him, come up with a plan. We as a whole subcommittee would hopefully make a recommendation on it, and then bring it to you and ultimately you guys to the township board. But we think there's some great opportunities here. There may be some money involved. I don't really know right now, but so that's an exciting new piece of this. And I think it's just be a wonderful for the long range, um, the long range, perspective of us moving forward. So anyway, that's what I have to report. And any questions or?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I was really surprised when he reached out to us. That was,
Yeah, I think he wasn't always, he's not, I guess his parents live here part-time, so he's not, nowadays they do. And so he wasn't, I don't know how he found out about it, but I'm sure glad he did. So,
very good.
okay. Are you guys okay?
I have a question.
Yes, Sue.
My background is modeling, so I guess I will just add, even though I don't know exactly what he's doing, but modeling can be very powerful in the what if. What if we do this? What will it look like in 5-10 years? What if we don't do this? So I think that's another aspect of modeling that should also be considered, is the fact that it'll be a what if.
That's a great point, Sue. And I'd like your input a little bit too. I was thinking either the subcommittee idea I had of science folks, but actually the modeling could extend into the other committees. So there may be some, the septic committee may want a piece of this, other committees. So what do you think if I reach out to the other subcommittees and see if they want to have anybody sit on this kind of
That
group to
was-
see if there might be a role for them in whatever model that ultimately gets developed?
That was in the initial language collaboration and
Yeah,
go for it.
okay. So this is all pretty fresh, so I'm just sharing with you what.
Brad, this is Jim.
Yeah, Jim.
And I think that was a great idea with regard to the septic committee. We're trying to put this data together, and right now we're kind of doing it like we think it ought to be, but having somebody that can say, yeah, you're barking up the right tree or not is would be very helpful. So count us in.
Okay, great.
Good.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Do you have any questions of us?
No, I just wonder if you think it's on the right path and that's.
Yep, good.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Yeah. If you want.
Sue. Sue, are you there?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
here. All right, I have nothing new from what we talked about last week. I can review some of that if you want, Jenny, or if people are good with what we said last week. Basically we're plodding along.
Just gonna how many Facebook pages are you?
Oh, I'm not hearing. Did you say something, Jenny? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Approximately how many Facebook pages are you posting on?
I think it's 11.
I thought it was double digits.
Let me,
so-
I could tell you, hang on just a minute.
What we're talking about as far as the newsletter and other, communications, they're being dispersed through Facebook pages and emailed individually. So if you're not on Facebook and would like to make sure that you're getting those newsletters and so on, the sign up pages on the HOHL website that's linked to Garish's website. So
Yes. Okay,
good.
good.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Sue.
I got one real quick
Oh,
question.
sure.
Sue, I'm looking at your comments from Facebook posts that Jenny handed out. It'd be helpful if we could see the dates that some of these posts were made. If that's not,
Okay.
if that's not too much trouble, kind of helps to put them in chronological order.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
go ahead.
Okay,
Sue.
we can add that. That's not a problem.
Fantastic.
But they are from between the last meeting and now. So they're,
Right.
yeah. And I'll revisit those in a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, good point. All right. Moving on. IT and finance.
Segue into the other. So funding, basically, well, Catherine did a presentation, excuse me, last week. So we're still working with Jim Anderson, trying to get PayPal up and running so we can do a donate button. We are still working on the grant tracking calendar with the rolling calendar for all the other subcommittees to understand what grants and what things may be available for our activities in general. And we're going to start putting together another document that will go to the sub-chairs in terms of targeted grants. In addition, we are also looking at collaboration ideas that we can do with other organizations around the lake. So that's pretty much what the funding subcommittee has been up to. As far as IT goes, we have just been pretty much dealing with housekeeping issues. We've had some certificates expire, backup issues that we've dealt with. Some people were having problems with Mac OS and the Nextcloud environment, and we helped out with that. And mostly what we've been working on in terms of IT is working on the septic map. And we are going to be having additional meetings later this week in terms of showing purple dots and all the different things that we're learning from Central Michigan District Health around the lake and what's going on there. Additionally, we are also pulling data from Eagle Well Logic. So we're using the map to coordinate all the different sources and potential targets for different things that may be affected for health.
Integrating them all together.
We're bringing them all together. And at some point, we will be showing that to this committee, but we've got a lot of work to do. It's very, very, very preliminary at this time, but it is interesting, very interesting. So would you like me to segue into my
Please.
Zotero? Okay. So what we did last summer is for the science committee, we created a place where all the different studies, reports, technical papers were assembled in one place. Am I allowed to share? Thank you, ma'am. Okay. So what this is we have an area in Zotero for all the different subcommittees. Right now, only science is using it, but we have journal articles, we have technical reports, some white papers. What this software allows people to do, let's say you wanted to go look for all the nitrate discussions that were done on the lake. I'm going to have to do it. So what this does is this allows the people on the science committee to go look at all of the documents that are assembled and find different information. So let's say you wanted to look for nitrates, and we all know that you want to find nitrates because they can cause several different health problems, especially for little ones. So let's say we wanted to look at all the reports that talked about septic. You can go in, each one of these reports has tags associated with them. And what we do is we've been using AI to assemble all the tags for each of the reports. There were 3 people that curated all these things, and as people submitted documents, we ran each of the reports through AI and came up with tags to do the searches. So this gives us all the metadata and everything that the steering committee had initially directed us to do. And as far as I know, it's been working famously. I've not heard any complaints. So,
That's cool.
any questions?
A lot of work.
It was. I didn't do it all myself. There were others that helped. So,
I'm sure.
this was a definite collaboration between IT and the science committee.
Yeah.
Well, communications was part of it too, but there was a lot of collaboration with this. At any rate, is no one has any questions? That's the end of my presentation.
As
I
far
want to
as,
say thank you. That's a lot of work.
yes.
And you didn't help at all.
I know. I just get to sit here and say, way to go, teams.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, very nice. Thanks. Right. Do we have anybody from rodents and fertilizer? So I don't think Tim is on.
I don't think there's been any
Any-
work since
Okay.
Dave commented
All right.
last time.
Next up is Jim. Jim had to be on Zoom tonight to make sure the rest of us are healthy. So we're going to forego his formal presentation other than if you have questions for him in regard to the septic draft ordinance. So, Jim, do you have any other comments though that you'd like to make?
Oh, just briefly,
Okay.
my apologies for not being there, but you don't want what I got, so this is as close as I need to get. But we submitted, or the septic committee submitted at your work session a week and a half ago, our draft of the ordinance, and it is in your hands to review. I got a fair amount of comments from June, and I made the comments from her notes. And June, my guess is I didn't get them all captured, but if you, I guess I'd like to see what the next step is. If you want me to continue to make any corrections or edits that go on, or if somebody on the steering committee needs to own that document now, or how you want to, until the time you submit it to the township board, what's your pleasure? June, maybe June, do you have any other any other corrections that I didn't catch?
No, I had emailed in response when you sent to Jenny and I the latest update, and I don't have it in front of me right now.
Yeah,
I did.
frankly, I don't think I made those last email comments thinking that was
I
going to be
said,
in the board's hand or in the steering committee's hands, but I can do that.
oh, I didn't. Yeah, I think that's just a miscommunication. I thought you were coming through with that, and that's not a problem. I mean, like I say, I mean, you can fine tooth comb this, and I think in my response to you, I said, well, leaving it in your hands as this committee. Sorry, I don't have it here in front of me. I'm
Yeah.
trying to find it. I sent it to you.
Okay.
There we go. I said, I see you did infuse my notes. I was just asking about a couple things, but I don't think that they're deal breakers. I think that uh, I did say maybe that these might be items that the township and the lawyers might choose to consider moving forward. So I don't have anything to add it right now.
Yeah, I think I read those as I agree. That's, it's probably out of my bailiwick and get it off to those other folks to do. So I guess Jenny, then I think the draft of it is in your hands, ready to do with it what you need to do. And we'll just the septic committee continues to meet. We're far from done. At our last meeting, we identified the need for some procedures that we're continuing to work on, and some the definitions piece of it still needs to be fleshed out, and we've got the first draft, probably 90% draft of the definitions done. So that'll be attached. It can be forwarded up whenever time. So we continue to work on it in parallel with the document headed upstream. So that's about all I've got on the septic committee's ordinance work at this point.
I
Very
do have a
good.
question in relation to what you just said. So you're saying that we would forward this on if that's what we decide as a steering committee, and then you said you continue to work on it in the committee. So what's the process as you see it moving forward?
I think it is we have any significant changes that I guess that would be up to us to determine significant. We would submit those as a addendum to the ordinance to you guys, to the steering committee. And then just like it is here, you could say, yep, we agree with those addendums, or, send it back to us or whatever. And then if you agree, then forward it on up to wherever it resides at that time. Either run it through the township board, or more likely it'll be at the planning commission shortly, and it would be stuff that they would consider in their development of the further development of the ordinance.
Okay, thank you.
Jim, are you looking at a timeline?
No, I don't really. I mean, I have a timeline in my head, but I think it's going to take a month to get it through from you to the township board, who I don't think will spend an awful lot of time with it. We will certainly review it, but we'll try to catch it at our next board meeting, or the board meeting after we get it submitted, shortly after that. And then we'll forward it on to the planning commission. I've heard dates from the planning commission from a couple of months to several months. My hope is it's several months by the time they really put a good look at it, and so it'll be summer sometime.
And that would give you the septic committee some time to compile any other
Yeah,
additions.
right.
Okay. Any
We
other?
are focused on strongly on gathering the data, how the process of gathering data is going to work, and to get the procedure for how we're going to do that uh, without having an ordinance, or does it wait until we do get an ordinance before we can have some real legislative background to go after this data? We're still working through that now, but
Mm-hmm.
speaking of, yeah, go ahead.
Uh, uh, no, you go ahead.
I was going to change the subject a little bit to speaking of data. We have received the the database that I've been working on, the demographics piece of it, which is data from the assessor's office and information that I got from the building there. And then the next module to that is the data from the health department, and they provided us with information on each property ID that they have information on. They provided that to me last week, and I integrated that into my overall spreadsheet. And additionally, I went to, as Ed said, I went to Well Logic from Eagle and got all the well information about that they had available on any of the properties that are in Garish and Lyon Townships. So all that information now is in this Excel sheet, and I frankly have started to see about the possibility of converting it to Microsoft Access, a little relational database that is, you can run probably more sophisticated searches, and but it's still got to be easy enough to use for enough people too. So we're Ed and I have been kicking that around, and we'll see where that goes. But nevertheless, the data is all coming together, and it's starting to make sense. And I think one of the biggest things that you see in the data is the holes that are in it and the monster properties. There's way more stuff we don't have information on, way more stuff we don't have information on than what we do. So that's that's the part that is going to come to light here shortly, and give us some good direction on just how big this project is to fix. Um, and I think that's all I wanted to get in there. And I did want to mention about Brian McClure too, but we talked about that when Brad was up there. So we would be interested in seeing if he could take a look at the data, the way we're gathering it, and how the other information he gleans from the science committee, how it can interface with the conditions around the lake that we can provide information on. So I'm not sure where that goes or what that looks like, but I think it's something that'll be pretty interesting.
So I
And
just want
yeah.
to kind of reiterate what Jim was saying, this will be going up to the board if we so choose. And again, they will be taking a look at it, whether or not they would like to move it forward to the planning commission. The planning commission could start from scratch. They could take this and run with it. They could take any additional addendums and add to it. This is just an excellent boilerplate to get the process started. And so for those that may listen to this video later, there's time for public comment to give your input. Be sure to notify the septic committee, the steering committee, the board, the planning commission. But it's not a done deal. It's a draft. And we'd still entertain, comments to try to make sure that it's done well, and that the township has something that's solid and going to address like those holes that Jim was talking about, uh, because if you saw the map, we've got holes. So anyways, any other comments?
I have had some questions about when the draft would be available from the public about when it would be available. So keep that in mind that people are going to be asking about when they can take a look at what we've done so far. So.
Okay. Any other thoughts, questions? June, anything else? Anybody else out there? Okay, so on your agenda, you can see that whether we want to move this forward to the board, and if you feel at this time this draft is in a position to be able to be moved forward.
I think we've worked with it enough. I think it's time for somebody else to look at it, and we're gonna get some new ideas every time.
Right. It's like when June was here.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
So, okay.
I'd make a motion to move it onto the.
All
board
right,
if you want.
Jack, thank you. Any support?
I'll support.
Jim, thank you. And all in favor of moving this on to the board as a working draft?
I,
Aye.
Okay. Under unfinished business, I just wanted to quickly bring everybody up to speed. In our joint meeting with the subcommittee chairs, we reviewed many different things. The draft of the septic ordinance, we had good question and answer time and suggestions for revisions. For the funding sources and resources, Catherine Voigt did a great job of giving us a good overview, a good snapshot of some of the potentials and limitations, and urged all of our subcommittees to be really thinking ahead as far as what we might be looking at or what projects, and to get that in the hands of the funding committee so that they can start looking for resources. And then we covered a lot of administrative items like monthly reports and how important those are to get submitted timely, so that they can trigger the communications committee's newsletters and other things, keeping us all well informed. And but that type of information will be then forwarded on to the board. We talked about action reports, and I know science has been working diligently, and you heard from Ed tonight with the Zotero and the septic draft. A lot of work is being done out there, and it's pretty exciting. There's still, time to try to finish some of these projects, and before the reports are then put into the steering committee's hands. But there's a lot of good diligence going on. And we kind of reviewed the purpose and scope of the HOHL, the progress and planning, trying to make sure that we're on track or where we need to tweak it. And so there were discussions in that area. Any comments or questions? So that the audience knows where you've been. All right, new business. Dan,
Okay, one of the comments made last time, I think, was it our special meeting? Or
think it
the
was,
last
yes.
regular
Yeah.
meeting?
nope,
Special.
that worked.
We indicated that we thought that the steering committee should be tasked with reviewing and or soliciting assistance from the legislature, be that the US or the Michigan legislature. So having seen what our friend ChatGPT can do, I decided why not try our hand at drafting a letter to our representatives. I have copies of those, two of the five. Unfortunately, the ChatGPT didn't seem to realize that Alyssa Slotkin was elected. So she still thinks that Debbie Stabenow is one of our senators. However, that was quickly, and it even told me, nice catch. But yeah,
Yes,
it
it does a great job.
it schmoozes too. I mean,
Yeah, it does.
yeah. So anyway, I have drafted several. I mean, they're basically all the same boilerplate. Um, one is a little more geared toward the federal government versus the state government, but there are two copies to our two state legislators and three copies to our federal legislators. Again, it even says, here, put your letterhead on here, sign, as whoever you are on the subcommittee or the committee, whatever your title is. But anyway, I wanted everybody to quick, take a, not a quick look, take a
Right.
look at it, see if there are tweaks, see if it's missing things, see if it's got things in there that we don't really want to say.
Mhm.
And we'll talk about it again, and if we get approval, slap it on the township letterhead if they're of, in agreement,
Sure.
and send it off.
Okay. So anybody comments or against?
I know I kind of got it out a little late this morning, but
No.
again, if you have comments, let me know. We can certainly tweak this. And if we want to send it out as the committee or me as an individual of the committee, it doesn't matter to me which
Mhm.
way.
Okay.
But I'd like everybody to take a look at it.
Uh,
Basically, it focuses on what our purpose is, and pending or existing legislation, or um, any initiatives that are going on too that might be of interest.
How about if we have Ed take a look and maybe Catherine take a look, get their 2 cents, and then bring it back for us
Absolutely.
with the finalized drafts, and so that we can then get that in the mail.
Sue with communications. Did you say Sue?
Yes, that's Catherine
Look at it.
and Sue. Yes, that'd be good. And Ed,
Okay.
Sure.
yes. Okay. Sound like a plan?
Okay,
Okay,
I
good.
can get that out.
All right. And any other new business? Okay. And next up is public comment. Anybody have something to add to the Brad?
Just quickly, I am on the planning commission. You talked about the process. So as of now, the planning commission meets every other month, and we meet in March and again in May. So now we can't have special meetings, and that's going to be, not my decision, but so time it gets to back to the township, how quickly they move to give it to us. I mean, it may not be till May that we even see it, start talking about it. So
Okay.
just to give you a perspective of time.
We'll try to get that
Yeah.
on their desk ASAP.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, appreciate that. Any other public comment? Anybody from Zoom? No? All right. Um, just one announcement, Sue and team, thank you very much for the information that you have. And we've compiled some of the comments that we've gotten from those postings and they've been reviewed. I'd like to read just a short little piece of content that we want to make sure that gets out to all individuals that are interested, because if you have interest in work, volunteering for any of the committees, please do. You know, those that are making comments online, we'd love to have you at the table. And so I just want to kind of make this invitation to all. February 16th, 2026, HOHL posted the following response to the above comments. The Health of Higgins Lake initiative was formed because environmental conditions affecting Higgins Lake deserve careful review and thoughtful discussion. Protecting the lakes and surrounding waters supports both our natural resource and the long-term vitality of our community. The Science Committee is composed of community members who step forward to volunteer their time and expertise. These individuals bring a wide range of professional backgrounds, including science, engineering, water systems, environmental management, law, and public service, along with a shared commitment to preserving the Higgins Lake. The committee's role is to review available data, examine research, and evaluate potential options. No predetermined outcome has been adopted. The purpose of the committee is to provide information and recommendations so township officials and residents can make informed decisions. Healthy discussion is welcome. We encourage residents to stay engaged, review publicly available materials, attend meetings, and participate respectfully in the process, whether online or in person at meetings. And our shared goal remains the same: protecting Higgins Lake and the area water sources for future generation is important. With that, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Just real quick, since I'm
Sure.
very new at this.
Yeah.
When's our next meeting?
It's the third Tuesday.
Third Tuesday.
February 17th, maybe?
It's always the third
That's
Tuesday.
today.
Oh,
Sorry.
March.
that's the
Yeah,
bottom of that one.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think March 17th.
You got it?
I'll be out of state then, but
Okay.
I could probably zoom in.
I'll be out of the country and won't be able to Zoom.
Okay.
17th, yeah.
All right. Well, we might have to take a look at that. All right. Thank you for your input. Motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the time is 7:43. Thank you all that came tonight and on Zoom. And
You all.
maybe we'll see you the March 17th or maybe not.